Hello, everybody. Good morning here in Israel. This is Orly Bar-Kima, and we are live in the show Practical Inspiration. And today I have the pleasure and honor of interviewing again for the second time Gudni Gudnason, who is the headmaster of the Modern Mystery School, the owner and the head teacher. The Mystery School is now in 48 countries and is teaching the lineage of King Solomon. So good morning, Gudni. It's good to have you back.
Greetings from Japan.
Yes. What time is it in Japan now?
It's 5 in the afternoon.
Ah, good. Because I see the light behind you, so it's still daylight.
Yes. Yeah, it's still daylight.
Oh, nice. So we are waiting for Shani, but she has some technical problems, Shani Lehrer, but I hope she can come and join us. But if not, we will do it by ourselves. Okay?
Okay, no problem.
So we had the last interview, I think it was 6 months ago. And I had many people, reacting and saying that it was very interesting and very insightful for them to hear a person that is living both spiritual and physical on both sides of the veil. And I felt that it was short, so I think that we can talk some more about the mystery school, about the lineage and the traditions and the healings that are taking place, and about the part of Israel, because the school was open here in Israel a year and a half ago. And there are, I think, a group of about 15, 20 Israelis who are learning. There are guides and there are teachers and there are healers here in Israel, and we hope to expand it more. So I would love to hear from you. What do you think, to start with Israel, what do you think the part or the importance of having the school open here in Israel, near Jerusalem, where King Solomon had his temple?
Well, obviously it's very exciting for me to open the school in Israel, and it's not to. I really have to answer this in two sections. I have to say the whole world is equally as important. So all the countries and everywhere we go, it's all equally important. But each country we come to has its specialty. And obviously, like, our main teaching is Kabbalah, and the Jewish contribution to Kabbalah was so rich and deep that this is a very important part for us. So opening the school there, my personal belief is that is the beginning of world peace, which of course is what we don't want.
Yes, and the Shambhala.
Yes, and if world peace starts within each one of us, and we can create that. We can create world peace within us, then within our communities, and then it spreads to the world. But if it starts somewhere like Israel, with all its war problems,
yes,
we could start it there. It would be a much stronger and more lasting peace than anything else. So this is my hope.
And I know that the Modern Mystery School is based on the teaching of the King Solomon lineage. Can you elaborate or tell us some more about this lineage? How does it go from teacher to student through, thousands of years?
Actually, a slight correction. The school is based on the teachings of Hermes, which was who was the teacher of Moses, and his teachings that have been on the planet for 8,000 years.
Okay.
So that's the core. And we have like this, the book called Hermetica,
Mm.
which is the teachings of Hermes. And this is what we base our teaching on. King Solomon 3,000 years ago took the mystery school as it was then, that Hermes started.
This was in Egypt, the Hermes school?
Hermes actually traveled around the world. Hermes is kind of a mystery because he pops up everywhere. and there's even records of him in South Africa, and he is supposed to have written this in a cave outside Cape Town in South Africa.
Mm.
So he's a very mystical being. And but 3,000 years ago, Solomon took his teachings and reorganized them, made them into more practical way of handing down. So coming from a teacher to student, in the old Hermes way, you had to just kind of get it. You have to spiritually have intuition to understand everything. And Solomon changed it to an actual system of teaching and verbal instruction and hands-on learning. So, and of course, Solomon added to the lineage incredible things. He gathered together 40,000 shamans from all over the world, both male, female shamans, and they
from all kinds of traditions.
Yes, from all over, and they came to his temple. They worked in his temple, and they created what we know today as the King Solomon healing modalities and the King Solomon philosophies and teaching, which we are basically all about. So at this time, though, the temple itself was not in Israel. The temple, well, no. It was in Israel. It was not in Jerusalem. And I know I don't mean to be political now, so forgive me if I sound that, but you
Okay.
see, Israel is the home of the children of God. So Israel was much larger then.
You mean is Israel like as a concept or a physical place?
It's more of a concept. It's Shambhala. Israel is Shambhala. Shambhala is Israel, and it will be a permanent place on earth. It would be the whole earth, a whole planet. But so in these days when Solomon reorganized, this temple was outside Alexandria in Egypt.
Okay.
It was a whole city that like 300,000-400,000 people lived in. And this was the temple, the true temple of Solomon. The one in Jerusalem is just a copy of it. It's just a small homage to the real temple.
Okay.
So now some of the parts of that temple are still there in Alexandria, outside in the desert. And I've been there. I've been down into the basements. Everything above the sand is gone, or the sand has taken it over. But there are underground caverns and underground chambers from the Solomon temple.
So it still exists, or part of it?
Part of it still exists, yes.
Okay. And tell me more, and the word lineage that we are using in the mystery school. It means that the teachings are not, taught like in the university. You need to meet a teacher in order to be taught.
Yes.
You need to be, and you have to be also initiated. So if you can a little bit, explain on that, because many people, ask me, so, what is the difference? There are so many spiritual teachings, and we teach, we learn Buddhism, we learn this, we learn that. What is the specialty? Why is the healing or the teaching of the mystery school so powerful? So what would you answer to that?
Yeah, so it's kind of like this. It's to really explain lineage is what makes a rabbi a rabbi? What if some you know, some person just one day decides, well, I'm a rabbi, and calls himself a rabbi, and this person might even be a woman. So a woman suddenly says, she's 35 years old, and she says, well, I woke up this morning, I decided to become a rabbi. Now, what would be the difference between that person and the real rabbi? It is that the real rabbi has walked in the footsteps of hundreds of thousands or even millions of rabbis coming before him. So this is what the lineage is. We walked in the path, walked in the footsteps of those who've gone before us, and perfected the art and the science that we represent. And in the King Solomon lineage, those are the tools we teach. We, example, don't teach from channeled information. I don't walk into a class and start channeling an archangel or some entity, you know, or alien or something and teach that. That's not the lineage. We teach only that which has been proven and tested through the last 3,000 years. And the hermetic principles, which are from Hermes, who are 8,000 years old. We also teach shamanism, and our shamanic tradition is 16,000 years old. So we have a very, very old tradition of lineage. And through that, you have, I mean, why is that important? There are many today who just kind of pop up and say, well, I'm doing this, and this is who I am, and I'm channeling this entity, and blah, blah, blah.
Yes, there's a lot, and there are, you know, increasing, coming more and more people that say, I am channeling Jesus, and I'm channeling that, and I'm channeling this angel or that angel. So what is the real difference?
I actually met a person last year who was channeling Jesus, and she told me, but you have to understand, I'm not channeling Christian Jesus, I'm channeling the Jewish Jesus. That was pretty funny. Anyway, so what's the difference? It's basically that we step out of our ego, we step aside and allow the tradition, the lineage, the teachings to flow through. We use tools that have been tested and tried. This gives you, when you're working, when you're serving humanity, it gives you the strength, the base, the foundation to be able to serve people with more assurity, with more confidence than just being and you know, just making it up in a sense. And when you have this foundation in the Kabbalah, we call it yesod, and when you have the yesod, then you have a foundation to build on, and you can work without draining your energy, and you can be uplifted by the teachings instead of reversed. So this is the main difference of that.
Okay, so what made you, or what made you qualified to be the headmaster of the school and the deliverer of this teaching in this area that we're living?
I have no idea. I'm still like confounded by that.
But you know, you're doing it. It's your mission. It's your job.
Yes.
So, and you know, I was curious about it. What, like you said with the rabbi, you know, that once someday wakes up in the morning and says, I'm a rabbi. So how did you know that it is your mission in life? It is your job to deliver this teaching to the world?
No, well, there are two questions here actually, because my clarity of my path, that comes very early, because I was born twin brother. My twin brother died 30 minutes after birth, and so I lived for the next 10 years of my life. I lived with my twin brother on the other side of the veil. So I was already spiritual. I didn't have a choice in a sense. This was my path from the beginning. But then I wanted to find teachings that I could represent. And I started looking, And then I find mystery school. And so I've been in the mystery school in that lineage, and they're teaching me. And then, you know,
and the mystery schools, there are 7 mystery schools all over the world, and your school is one of them. The only one, we have to say, that is open to to people to come to learn. The other ones are closed. You have to be a monk, or you have to, you know, you're not living the day-to-day life that we are living and can learn that from them. So, I forgot what I wanted to ask you. I was thinking something.
but let me answer your previous question.
Yeah.
Because one day the hierarchy of light and the mystery school tells me I'm supposed to take over one of the 7 mystery schools.
Yeah, that was the questions. Okay.
Yeah, and I thought I was joking. I thought they were joking. I didn't like, what? No, I'm not qualified to run the mystery school. I can run a little light center and do my work, and they said, no, this is what you do. And that was the North American chapter of the mystery school. I went to North America. I went to an Indian tribe who was holding the chapter, the keys, and the medicine man, the tribal medicine leader, he handed me down the keys, and it was a sacred ceremony. And I was taken to Hopi Nation First Mesa, and they adopted me into their nation as a full medicine man. And so that's how they started. And July 7th, 1997, the grade 777 gateway is when I was told no more secrets. I'm allowed to go out and teach this. So that's where it starts.
Yeah, and this no more secrets, you know, because it's not that everybody, until then, it's not that everybody that wanted to go and learn in the mystery school was accepted, right?
Right. First of all, there was no marketing before that time. Nobody really knew about the mystery school. You couldn't join unless you were invited.
You have to get an invitation from someone. Yes. I read in Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist, and there is a scene there. There is a movie also about his life now that I've seen, and there is a scene that somebody is following him in all kinds of places, and in 1 minute he comes to him and he says to him that he is chosen. He needs to be here and here, and then he gets the initiation with the sword. So who are the people who are chosen, and why? You know, I'm looking at myself and I say, you know, I'm learning in the mystery school. I'm a student, I'm an initiate, and from that I am in the same lineage as you. But how can people know if they belong to the lineage or not? Because it's not for everyone, no?
It's for everyone.
It is for everyone.
Absolutely. Whether if people feel called, then they should come. Right now we're open, so anybody can come. You are there, your name is taken to the hierarchy of light, and we do ask.
You ask for permission if this person can teach, can learn.
Yeah, or we ask them, is this person ready? Have they been prepared for this path? Because it's not about, you know, what we call worthiness is actually, are you prepared? That's what worthiness is. Have you been trained on the astral level, on the spiritual level, to walk this path? So we ask the hierarchy of light. And those who are being trained now on the earth, the job of the mystery school for the last, next year is about 20 years anniversary. Yeah. And even though I've been teaching for 40 years, I started in 1976, but the school officially opened 20 years next year. And those who are being trained right now are people who are going to be supporting and shifting the world into a new paradigm. We are going to be the educators of the new indigo children or whatever people call them today, crystal children or
Yeah.
sapphire, whatever it's called, and because they're the leaders of the new world, and they will bring in knowledge and wisdom that we don't really understand, but we will be their jesod, we will be their foundation, and build a platform where they can build a new Shambhala on. So that's our role. That's what we see the purpose today.
So what makes you prepared, as you say, is what is your consciousness, is how conscious you are, how aware you are.
How much training you have received on the other side of the veil before,
before coming down.
Yeah, or even after you come down. Before you come to the mystery school, you've been trained maybe all your life without being aware of it. So it's about that training. Those, I mean, technically we can open the school for everyone, but we have not really done that. We're still a little bit closed.
Yeah.
We make it a little bit hard to stay in, and we make it a little bit hard to get in, so that we can funnel in the right people who will lead the great work in the future.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of a strategy of how to, because we are looking for.
Because you test the if they are serious enough, if they are devoted enough to the path. This is what you mean that you make it.
Yeah. Yes.
Part of it is. Sorry. Yeah.
It's basically my job to make sure we have, the right people for this great shift that is coming. So it's sometimes hard for me, obviously, to do, because I don't want to say no to anyone. Mm-hmm. And I don't say no to anyone, but I make the system not as easy as it could be. It could be totally open and very easy to get in, but we don't keep it that way. And this way we also maintain the sacredness of the teachings. So it's kind of, has dual purpose in a sense.
Tell me something. Is part? I wanted to talk to you also, about spirituality and money, and the matter and the spirit, and maybe part of the keeping, as you say, the closed. It's like a closed group. Is by that making it cost money. Because I have people coming to me for treatments and are interested in school, and they say to me sometimes, wow, it's very expensive. If it's so spiritual, if it's about changing the world, why isn't it free, or why doesn't it cost little money so really everybody can join? What do you answer to that?
Well, I also have to live, I have to pay my rent. I also have, I actually have a body, so I need to eat food. All of us in the school are just normal people, just like everybody else. We've chosen this as a profession. Now, that's one answer. The other answer is many people on the planet today are dealing with huge poverty mentality. And they think, like, example, our school is expensive. It's not actually expensive. If you compare it with universities or other schools, we're not very expensive. There are many schools in the New Age movement that are extremely expensive compared to us. So, we were in Taiwan. We've been in Taiwan a few times this year. And there's a school there that teaches I Ching and Feng Shui and things like that. And there we're talking about $50,000, $60,000 for one seminar. So, compared to many schools around us, we're actually not that expensive. But here's the point. Again, we've created a system that, yes, it's a little bit, it's not for everybody right now.
This is what I mean, because, if I want to learn some things, as we said, there is a school in Israel and there are teachers here and teachers are coming here. But if I want to be advanced, I have to go to London, to Toronto, to South Africa, to Japan, to other places in the world, and it's all matter. It's all money that I need to have. If I don't have it, I can't progress. You know what I mean?
And therefore, we have the system so that we do have very strong people, very dedicated people who want to commit to this path at this moment. Now, in the future, we will probably have a lot of free things. We will probably reach the masses with our initiatory initiations, with the initial initiations, may probably be free when we reach that level. But if we do that, we would need to have a very strong core team of people who are ready to manage that growth. So we're basically in that state of evolution right now, where we're training the managers of the future growth.
Yes, the leaders of the future,
or the nurturers of the leaders of the future, because the leaders will be the young people, you know. The indigo's that come.
And are there certain kind of people that you are looking for, with certain qualities, with certain state of mind, for leaders, for future leaders?
Well, to be honest, the future leaders of this earth, the indigos, I honestly don't know much about them. They have something that we don't even understand. They have qualities and abilities that I don't think we've ever seen. So I just stand ready for whatever is coming. The managers of the shift, the caretakers of the future leaders of the planet, need to have certain qualities. Example, they have to work from compassion. Without compassion, we can't do this work. They have to be able to conquer their ego. That it's not about them. That it's not about, that the ego isn't always in the way, and there's channeling from their ego and working from their ego, and this has to. And we have very powerful programs to get rid of ego. So this is kind of how we're training the management team right now.
To be humble.
To be humble and to be able to, just do pure service to humanity from pure heart, and not think too much.
Yeah, that's the disease of the century, no? The thinking. The monkey mind that is, messing with our consciousness all the time.
Yeah.
Whoever finds the cure for that will be a very wealthy man or woman for the thoughts. Let's talk a little bit about Kabbalah. You said that the foundation of the teaching is based on the universal Kabbalah, which is a little different, I understand, from the traditional Jewish Kabbalah. And I know you were a student of them both. But you teach the universal Kabbalah. So tell us a little bit, what is the Kabbalah, the universal Kabbalah, if you can elaborate about the 10 spheres, and how can we elevate, how can we evolve as human beings through the Kabbalah teaching?
Well, the first thing with the Kabbalah is, if we look at our body, we say it's a computer, and I want to change the way the computer functions or works. What I would have to do is to change basically the software in the computer. I would have to go in and reprogram the computer so I can put in other software, etc., etc. So in reprogramming the computer, I have to go into that core language that controls the computer. And this is what Kabbalah is. Sorry?
The codes of the computer.
Yes, the coding, yes. And we change the coding, you change how the computer works. And this is what Kabbalah does. Kabbalah goes into the very DNA, or Kabbalah, goes into the very DNA of the human being, which is the tree of life. The blueprint is the tree of life, the image of the tree of life. That's the DNA of human, and actually DNA of all things, not just human, but every known materia in the universe and even spirit. So we can change that with, and that's what the new coding is learned in the Kabbalah. See, the beginning, in the beginning, there's a book we use, which is the preferred reading of Kabbalah. It's called the Sefer Yetzira.
Yeah, which is related to Abraham. Yes.
You can see it here. So the Sefer Yetzira, in it, it talks about how all things, how the universe and everything was created by numbers, letters, and sounds. And numbers, letters, and sounds is so that those are the key elements of the tree of life and of the reprogramming of the human DNA. We want to change our body so we can reprogram. Change our mind, we can reprogram. But it's done through numbers, letters, and sounds. Now, numbers are in a simple form. They're the sacred geometries of life. Numerology is a certain rhythm of geometries or forms that we can actually usually form with our hands, and also hand movements.
The triangle.
We can use our hands to create all kinds of things. So these are example in Indian, in Hinduism, these are what's called mudras. And the mudra example in Japanese tradition is mudra is example like this, and different hand movements that you do. So letters are of course the holy words that we tone and that we say. That example to reading the fire letters of the Hebrew language.
Yeah, 22 letters. This is the building blocks of the universe.
And those, the ancient Hebrew fire letters, you cannot read like a normal language. You have to tone them. You have to almost sing them out. Otherwise, they have no meaning. And the sounds, numbers, letters, and sounds, the sound is frequency, vibration, kind of like Nikola Tesla talked about. If you want to understand the universe, they understand frequency, vibration. And so these are the first, these three things are the first thing we teach actually in the mystery school. And we live this every day. We do these sacred geometries, we do these frequency and this alchemy of heightening our vibration. And we use these sacred words and we, example, teach our adepts, which is the first step, to do what's called the magic circle and Kabbalistic cross of light. And when you do that, you are toning words, you are doing sacred geometry, and so you're already reprogramming your being right away from the beginning. And then when you come to the Kabbalah, you go even deeper by going into the 10 Sephiros of the Tree of Life and really understanding this recoding.
Yeah, that it's like a hologram, the 10 Sephirot, right?
Yes.
And it's go down from the base and up to the crown chakra.
Yes.
Can you say a little more about each Sephira and what does it mean? How do we work on it? How can we be more aware?
Yes. Most people know about chakra, which is really good. So, and just kind of bringing your awareness to the chakras, you open up the chakras, more energy flows into your body. You can do the same thing with the Tree of Life because it is in your energy structure. Now, all energy comes from above through your crown chakra and down the chakras and go into the earth. And then it comes back to us. And most people ignore that. But it comes back to us. And for example, being barefoot in the grass is like we should do that every day. It's essential to bring back the energy of Mother Earth. So Father Sky from above, and then Mother Earth below. But that comes through the tree of life, not chakras. And on the bottom is what's called the Malkuth. Malkuth is basically earth, and that's what we stand on. So it comes back from Mother Earth through our feet and up to the groin area where it's Jesod, and then goes through the different sephiros back into Kether, which is crown chakra also. So we have these two energy systems, and most people miss that tree of life energy system. So we only operate on half energy basically. But if you just are aware of these sephiros in your body, then you can enjoy both energies. And really good to do this exercise out in the park somewhere, barefoot on the grass, on the trees or something.
You're talking about flow, to accept the light from the sky and flow it through your body, through the 10 sephirot, down to earth, and then to pull it from earth and bring it up. This is the flow that you're talking about.
Yeah, and you don't have to pull it. It wants to come up. Mother Earth gives freely of her energy. And just go barefoot in the grass and move and start breathing. And it just flows up, and put your awareness into the sephiros on your body. And then you just start feeling them rotating and flowing and flowing and flowing into the concept. It's almost, if it goes really well, this exercise, it's almost too much. It's almost you're fainting from energy. It's so powerful. This is really enjoying nature, actually.
So basically the secret of good living is always taking care of the vibration that you are and raising it. This is what you mean.
Yes.
Because when you are in a high vibration, when you do this exercise or other exercise, like, when I do the Chido in the park, I feel elevated after. Right. The Chido is this, slow movement of sending away and taking back from nature the energy. So when you are elevated, when you have a high vibration, how does it help you in life?
Well,
because you say simple. It's all about vibration, the toning, the sounds is vibration. Everything is vibration.
It's very simple. These two energies, the ones that come through chakras and the one that comes through the tree of life into your body, this is your true fuel. Food is not fuel for humans. Food is not fuel for humans. We do not need all the food we eat. On average, a human being needs maybe 1/10 of what they eat every day.
Yes.
To actually survive energetically. So we don't need that. That's not the fuel that drives us every day. It's this energy. It's the vital force, the prana of the universe. That is what feeds us.
Because we are spirits. We came from this energy. It's a part of us. We just remind ourselves that we need it in order to function.
Yes. And we are not really, see, we have a saying in Kabbalah that the kingdom of spirit is embodied in my flesh.
Yeah.
And this is just like saying, I am vapor, and right now my vapor is in a frozen state. So it's all water. But my spirit is like a vapor, but right now I'm in frozen state. I'm like an ice block. So, but it's the same material. And this body is spirit. And it needs fuel from spirit. It needs fuel from prana. Not from, bad hamburgers or, all the food, all the junk food we eat, we don't need.
So it's basically, it's connecting every day through these ceremonies, through these rituals, through these sacred geometries to the spirit that we are, to the force of life, and living for this is actually the power of this work, if I understand you right, because most of the people, they live in the ordinary consciousness. They go to work, they eat, they drink, they maybe have friends, they go on vacations, they have children, they take care of them. And you say that this is a very basic way to live. It's not the fulfillment of who we are and the intention of our being here.
We at the risk of not sounding diplomatic or politically correct, first of all, our world is amazing. We live in this incredible, beautiful planet. It's a vacation time from our eternal nature. We are eternal beings. We've never been born. We can never die. We came down here just on a short break from everything to learn certain things, to master certain things, and then we're gone again. And this is a beautiful place we live in. But there's a system on this planet that has created mass slavery. The concepts of, for example, money, that we have to have money for everything. The concepts of slavery, the system of slavery is rampant on the planet. And most people say, well, we're lucky that we're free. I see this a lot here in Japan. Mm-hmm. I've lived in Japan now for 15 plus years now. And people are like, oh, we're so lucky we're free. We don't have war like Israel and Palestine have, or Iraq has, and stuff like this. And, it's actually very sad in Japan. They have horrendous, the most amount of suicides anywhere on the planet. Yeah. Because people are so stuck and they're slaves to a system that depresses them so much. Their soul is not alive. And this is my work here in Japan, is to try to wake them up. And so, yeah, most people are slaves, thinking we have to have a job, we have to do things of society.
We have to buy this and have this car and have this house.
Exactly.
And
yes.
We are slaves. Yeah. We are now here and in the world also before the holiday of Passover, which is, hey, Shani.
Hey.
You managed to join us. How are you, darling?
Good. Thank you. Please continue.
Great having you.
Good to see you. Yes. Hi, Gudni.
Hi.
So we're talking about freedom, and it is a good time to talk about the concept of freedom now, because the holiday of Passover is about the Israelites becoming free from the slavery in the Egypt Pharaoh, and many people say now, okay, we are free, but I'm asking and I'm putting a question mark. Are we really free? We are slaves to this small thing here, the smartphone, that we need to have all the time, and we can't close it for 1 hour even to talk to our children or to talk. We are slaves for many things. So what is the remedy? How can we become more free?
See, there is nothing wrong with these gadgets. We have iPhones and iPads and iMacs and
everything.
Everything. and it's the same. I mean, all of these things here. I came down here on vacation, and I enjoy it. I figured out the system very fast as a young man. I realized that, okay, there are things here that, for example, they have this monetary system, so I need money. I figured all this out. So I mastered this world pretty fast, and I said to myself, okay, I'm here, I'm going to do this, but whoa, there's all these zombies walking around here. You know, all these sleeping people. And I need to, hey, wake up, man, you're on vacation, enjoy it. You know, and so my mission became clear early. But, and that's what I've been doing for 40 years, to try to helping people to realize, no, you're not as free as you think. You know, I sometimes went, I went to East Berlin a lot before the wall fell, and actually was actually smuggled in to teach Kabbalah in Eastern Berlin. And dangerous, but I felt that was part of my mission, so I would go under the wall into East Berlin and teach my Kabbalah. And I was actually there in '89 when the wall came down. I was teaching Kabbalah when the wall came down. But those people who were not free, there was still more freedom there than I found in the West. At this time I was living in Sweden, and people were like, oh, we're so free, we're so, you know, we have all this freedom, you know, but they were the worst slaves on the planet. They were constantly bickering about who had a better house or a better car or a better this and a better job, and who had got more money. It was like the system had created slaves out of the so-called free people. And you know, when you study what we teach, when you understand the, like I was telling you, you start the numbers, letters, and sounds. You start every morning with the powerful tools in your magic circle and your holy words and heightening off your vibration. You're doing the numbers, letters, and sounds. You're recreating your reality every day. And the more you do this, the less slave you become. Most of our students, most of our people, we actually don't call them students, but most of them quit their job very soon after they start with us, and just start living free and doing the work we teach them. So,
so what are, if you can give us, you know, how can we break through from this slavery that most of us, we are unaware that we are slaves, yes, as you say. So how can, you know, if you live, you have a community, you have your friends, how can you help them? How can you serve them to be more free in their lives?
You have to start. First of all, we serve ourselves. We have to become free first ourselves, but then with regular people out there, there's the normal people on the street that seem happy, have adjusted to slavery. It's not really true happiness. They're just adjusted to slavery. These people, you know, I often say to these people, you know, are you truly happy? And just saying that makes them think about it. They will answer me, of course I am. It's like when we meet people, how are you doing? I'm great. They're not great, but they say that. So it's part of this illusion that everybody creates. So I often ask my friends, I say, you know, please do me a favor. Go home tonight, look yourself deep in the mirror for at least 10 minutes, and ask yourself, am I truly happy? Look yourself in the eyes and ask yourself, am I truly happy? And it has not failed. I mean, 99% of my friends who've done this have ended up crying all night. They realize, no, I'm not happy. So obviously the system we call society has failed, and a new system needs to emerge. Now, Buckminster Fuller, the incredible Bucky Fuller, who created a lot of
Fuller, a great philosopher.
Great philosopher, architect, and teacher. He said, there's no use recreating or making a new system or changing the system from inside, is what he said. There's no use changing the system from inside. Just create a new system, but in time makes the old system obsolete. This is basically what the mission of Mystery School is. We're creating a new system, a new family, a new home where people can come to, and together we will just basically emerge in society.
Yeah, a new paradigm, like you say in the coaching, you know, I'm a coach. If you want to change a paradigm or a belief that you have, there is no vacuum. You can't, you know, take one instead and not put another inside.
Exactly.
So it's making something new, and the new paradigm that you are talking about is about freedom.
Yep. Freedom, health, love, compassion, and nobody ignored. There's so many people ignored today. There's so many lonely people on the planet. No one will be ignored. That's Shambhala.
And how long are we going to be there? How long is it going to take? Do you have an estimate?
Well,
what do the prophecy says? You know, you have connection up there.
The old prophet says it will come as like a thief in the night. So we are not supposed to know when it comes. Now, later prophecies have indicated that, first of all, right now we're in the Armageddon. We have started the process of Armageddon, which is a good thing, because Armageddon means the end of the world as we know it. So that's good. That's a good thing. We don't want this world as we know it. But later prophecies have also said that 2021 is a major shift year. Especially around the latter part, like September, we will see major shifts on the planet. I obviously don't know if that is actually physical, or in what way or form that's going to be, but that at least the energies of Shambhala will come more into the consciousness of humans. I've been watching what's going on in society on the planet. An example, I don't know if you're aware of this, but a few years ago, Iceland fired its government. The Icelandic people.
I know. You told me last time we talked. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it went back again, sour. So they've been going through struggles. But now something very interesting is happening. They're actually hiring a president who normally has no power, but giving him power. So they're actually going back to a dictatorship in a sense, almost like a king. And with him is a small government that controls the country. So we're a very interesting evolution going on in Iceland, and very healthy way of handling people and money and things like this are happening. So I think the consciousness of Earth is really moving towards a very bright, good future. We may have to go through some bumps on the way, but I think all in all, we're actually going towards a very good future.
And it starts here in Israel, as you said. So we started in Israel, and we'll finish in a few words here in Israel. You said that the Shambhala will start here. So we have a lot of work to do here. Shani.
Yes.
Shani, what do you have to say about this? We have a lot of work here.
Yes, I guess we do. And, you know, it's first of all taking it lightly. And secondly, we have a lot of guides happening in Israel now, and a lot of programs happening. And people have where to go to have a life activation, which is really exciting for us. So, yes, absolutely. And, you know, one at a time. We light each other up and the rest. So that's a very big joy to be able to facilitate that in Israel. And again, it's so good that slowly we're having more and more people able to, you know, give, just like you, Orly.
Yes.
Yes.
Activate.
Activate, absolutely. And initiate, yes. And get initiated and access, again, this memory of who we are. I'm right here in London now. We're doing an In Paradise self-class and initiation. So, yes, absolutely. I know you.
And when is the next one going to be in Israel? You have a date yet?
Yes, we do. We're doing one on the 24th of 24th of May, just now, coming up. And I know there's now happening today one, and tomorrow. So that's in Modi'in. So yes, absolutely, there's a lot of movement, and anyone who wants to move forward can now in Israel and in various places. So we're literally, moving into more areas of Israel, and people can find if they want. Absolutely, we're there for them with all love and happy to serve them.
Great. So Gudni, we're waiting for you. When are you going to come here in Israel?
Well,
I saved a good question to the last,
I'm going to be in Israel in June.
This June?
Yes.
Really? That's news.
But, I will be in Israel on the 21st and 22nd, but only one night.
Wow.
Maybe 2 nights. I'm not sure. So we are trying to figure something out.
Yeah. So we're gonna have an event here or something, open for people.
I hope so. Yeah. At least a meet and greet or something. We'll see.
Is this your first time in Israel?
No. I've been many times.
Okay. In spirit or in physical?
In physical, yes. Many times.
Okay.
I've even swam on the beaches there, wonderful beaches to swim in and have fun.
Yes. And you're coming in a great time. It's not that hot and it's not that cold, so it's a good time to come to Israel in June. So we have to finish. Gudni Gudnason, the headmaster of the Modern Mystery School in the world, Shani Lehrer, a guide, a teacher here in Israel. Thank you very much for this talk. And I hope we have some more talks, because each time we speak, we go deeper, and it's going more and more people. And we do our work, to bring the light as much as we can into the world, each one in his own way. So thank you very much, and have a great weekend. Thank you.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.